Hi everyone, my name is Trish and I'm a registered nutritionist and I'm based up here at the Technological University of the Shannon here in Athlone. And today I'm just going to very quickly talk you through completing a food diary. So as part of this lifestyle program for menopause, we'd really like to understand what you currently eat and drink. So to help us understand this, we'd like you to fill out a food diary for us for a few days. Kelly is going to give you all a food diary and it looks a bit like this. And within the diary are all the instructions and all the different sections for filling out over the course of 3 days. So with the food diary, what we're going to ask you to do is to write down everything you eat and drink for 3 days within a 1 week period. So that includes 2 weekdays and one weekend day. And that's going to help us get a picture of your typical dietary pattern. So you could maybe fill it out on a Monday and a Wednesday, and then also on a Saturday. Or you could prefer to do Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. It's up to you. But we just love it if you could keep to 2 weekdays and then one weekend day. When you're filling out the diary, you're going to see these different pages within the diary. And they're just little prompts for you to write down everything that you eat and drink throughout the day. It's really important to bring the diary with you throughout the day and to fill it out as you are eating and preparing foods. This is so important because if you rely on memory and fill out the diary later on in the evening, you tend to forget lots of little things. So if you can carry it around with you and fill it out as you go, that would be brilliant. So you can see here, there's 3 different sections. We ask you to write down the food or the drink that you have and a description of that food, for example, the brand and how it was prepared. So maybe, for example, before breakfast, you might have a coffee before you have breakfast in the office. So maybe you have coffee, so you would write that down, and then you would maybe write down that it was instant coffee and it was Nescafe, and then that you had a mug. And you do the same for all the different elements of what you're eating and drinking throughout the day. It's also really important for us to have an idea of how much you're eating and drinking. So in the third column, we ask you to put in the amount. Some things are pretty straightforward. For example, a mug of coffee. Other things like, for example, a packet of crisps. If you have a packet of crisps, we tend to know what's in a packet of crisps and the size of that. Other foods, it's a little bit more difficult to make out. So you can use the picture guide that's at the beginning of the book. You'll see in the picture guides, these are just a sample of some of the pictures at the front of the book, and they show you typical pictures of different sizes of amounts of foods. All of these pictures are showing the food on a plate that's a 10-inch plate. And I'm just holding up this plate here. This is a typical 10-inch plate, and it's one that I got from Dunnes. So it's a typical dinner plate, and that is what those pictures were all taken on. So you can see there, if you had, say, for example, quiche for lunch, you could use, maybe I had portion size 3B, which was roughly about maybe less than a quarter of the plate. So what you're doing is just basing your portion sizes on the pictures and adding that into the diary. So there's lots of different pictures in the food diary that'll help guide you estimate how much you've eaten of a particular food. And this is just a typical example of a page in somebody's food diary. For example, somebody had orange squash before breakfast. They've given us the brand and they told us that it was sweetened, and they've had a glass of that. At dinner, they had chips, and these were deep fat fried with oil, and they told us the brand of the oil. It was crisp and dry, and they used picture 7A to tell us how much they ate of the chips. And it just goes through the diary in all those different ways. So it's just also really important to remember to include your drinks. A lot of people might forget to add the water that they consumed, as well as alcohol, but also that and snacks. There's also a section at the end of each day to write down any supplements that you might have had. And there's a reminder with other prompts as well. So when you're done with filling out the diary over the 3 days, bring it into Kelly when you've completed it. Thank you so much, and I look forward to chatting to you more throughout the programme.